If you've been fantasizing about drinking milk straight from a cow's udder, then congratulations, because Michigan lawmakers are trying to make that easier for you. A package of bills moving through Lansing this year would legalize the direct sale of raw, unpasteurized milk across the state. Public health experts say that's a problem because raw milk can carry dangerous bacteria. But with a raw milk evangelist like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. now running the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, longstanding food safety regulations seem to be taking a back seat in the name of freedom. This is So What Michigan, where we cut through the noise, follow the science, and explain what's actually at stake here in Michigan. Here's the deal. Right now in Michigan, farmers can't legally sell raw milk directly to customers. If you want it, you have to do something called a herd share, basically buying a share of a cow and getting milk as part of that ownership arrangement. But State Representative Matt Maddock and more than 36 other Republicans want to change that. Their bill would allow farmers to directly sell raw, unpasteurized milk, plus cream, sour cream, buttermilk, and even certain cheeses, straight to consumers. Supporters say it's all about freedom and choice. Maddock even drank a cup of raw milk during a legislative hearing to prove his point. Adults understand risk, he says. Let people decide. But pasteurization didn't become a nationwide standard because regulators were bored. It became widespread in the early 1900s after contaminated milk was making babies sick and, in many cases, killing them. It was a public health response to a real, documented problem. Modern health agencies, the CDC, the FDA, the American Academy of Pediatrics, still warn against raw milk today. Because when milk isn't pasteurized, it can carry things like E. coli, which can cause kidney failure, and Listeria, which can cause miscarriages. And this isn't hypothetical. Researchers at Michigan State University say up to 10% of raw milk tanks may contain harmful bacteria, and there's no reliable way to know when a batch is contaminated. Even the Michigan Farm Bureau, which represents 40,000 family farms, opposes these bills. They warn that if a foodborne illness outbreak is traced back to raw milk, it wouldn't just hurt one farm. It could damage trust in Michigan's entire dairy industry. Now let's zoom out, because raw milk used to be a fringe health trend. Now it's become a symbol, part of a broader distrust the experts movement that's been amplified at the national level and is now trickling down into state legislatures like ours. RFK Jr. has repeatedly accused federal agencies of suppressing the sale of raw milk. He's framed food safety rules as government overreach. He even took a celebratory shot of raw milk at the White House.
Order some raw milk shooters.
Secretary Kennedy, cheers.
Cheers.
And while that's happening federally, we're also getting this. That's the current vibe surrounding federal health messaging at the White House. So when you see raw milk legalization popping up in Lansing, understand this isn't about drinking milk. It's part of a larger political shift away from long-standing public health norms. And that shift has real consequences. So what? Well, raw milk isn't a harmless wellness trend. It carries documented health risks, especially for kids, pregnant women, and people with weakened immune systems. And when lawmakers start undoing century-old food safety standards, the consequences won't be abstract. If this passes, adults will absolutely have more choice. But if outbreaks follow, hospitals, families, and Michigan's dairy industry will be forced to deal with the fallout. The bill should head to a vote soon. Hit follow. I'll be watching to see what happens next.